Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to come out. Welcome to our workshop webinar this Wednesday morning. We appreciate you taking a few moments of your day to join us. My name is Brian Griffin, a marketing assistant here at Messer Financial Group. If you are not familiar with Messer Financial Group, we are an agent-focused FMO. We serve over 20,000 agents across 40 states, and we are still growing. We do have these webinars to help you as a producer get the tools you need to be successful. And our goal is to bring top trainers from the highest rated carriers in the industry weekly to give you some insight on new products and procedures, and sometimes just to reintroduce you. Today, we're going to be talking about voluntary benefits with Colonial Life. They've actually put together a turnkey system that is not only agent friendly, but it's also client friendly. We're lucky to have Nick Ferguson from Colonial Life here with us today to talk us through Colonial's products and their process. Nick is a Colonial corporate territory trainer with many years in the insurance industry. So be sure to listen closely because you might find a few nuggets here that will help you see opportunities that are already around you. So we are going to hold all questions until the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, just type in the box to the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll get to as many as we can at the conclusion of the presentation. So without further delay, Mr. Nick Ferguson. Nick, are you there?
Hey, I'm here, Brian.
Excellent. Take it away.
All right, perfect. Well, good morning, everybody. And first and foremost, thank you for taking time to join the webinar this morning, and also thank you to Messer just for the opportunity to get in front of the group here. As Brian stated, I am a senior territory trainer with Colonial Life and have been with the company for about 8 years now. And like Brian said, really the goal for today is just kind of reintroduce or introduce to those that aren't familiar as to Colonial Life and who we are, really what we bring to the market, both for our brokers and for the clients that we're able to serve. And then really just to highlight some of the products and services that we're really able to put in front of you guys there in the marketplace. So with that said, we'll go ahead and jump right in. So who we are as a company, Colonial Life, we've actually been around for going on about 80 years now. We've seen a lot of consistent growth, especially over the last decade or so, and now have a little more than 1.7 billion of in-force premium. We service about 95,000 clients across the country. This is going to range from a 3-man auto body shop all the way up to state governments that have thousands of employees. So there's literally not a range in which we are not able to serve that employee population. In addition to that, really our main mission at Colonial is just going to be to help Americans workers really preserve and protect what they've worked so hard to build. It's something that we believe is a very noble cause, and really it's something that we're very proud to say that we're able to do on a daily basis. It's why I love wearing the Colonial Life hat, wearing the jersey, because of the value that we're able to provide in the marketplace to our clients. So with that, let's take a look at how we're doing so far. You can see there's a lot of different statistics there up on the page. Feel free to kind of read through those, but I just wanted to highlight some additional ones. But as you can see, we consistently receive very high marks from our 3 primary customers. For brokers, we have always been a consistent partner that helps you grow and insulate your business. From there, we partner very well with the employers. They very much enjoy the ease of doing business with Colonial Life. Our goal is always to make their life easier, not harder. We actually recently rolled out a new client portal. And what this site does is it actually will provide them with a comprehensive account view. It's going to allow for full transparency and is fully self-service, which is going to allow the HR manager or whoever's handling the account a better time management. And the beauty of this isn't going to be the end of what we're doing for the employers. We are always looking for ways to improve their experience when partnering with Colonial Life. And then finally, for the employees, they are always going to expect claims to be paid extremely fast in a simple method. And so for us, we see on an annual basis of over 600,000 claims that are paid. Most are actually done within 1 day. So for those of you that are familiar with a certain competitor of ours, this is something they like to brag on. And it's actually 1 day pay is something that we've been doing for a little over a decade now. So again, just a lot of experience within the marketplace and really in serving the three dynamic customer bases that we're able to get in front of. So really for us, our goal today is just to kind of introduce to you how Colonial Life can be that single source carrier and enrollment partner. And really what we're going to now is just spend the next several slides going through what we have to offer to you guys as partners with Messer. So at Colonial, our Salesforce actually makes up, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, our Salesforce actually makes up the largest enrollment firm in the United States. We've got over 12,000 benefits counselors located all the way from Miami, Florida, across to Anchorage, Alaska, really in any geography across the United States. We have agents that are able to serve clients. The beauty of this is we're able to meet your customers wherever they are in a manner that's convenient for them, whether this is one-on-one in-person interactions, which is always going to be our preference, but we also have the capability of doing co-browsing sessions. For those of you not familiar, very similar to a FaceTime, where we would have them logged into a secured portal. We do have call center options, and then there is self-enroll options that are available online. And like I said, our goal is really just going to be centered around educating each employee as to the benefits that are being made available to them by their employer. That is our goal in every interaction that we're able to have with our clients. So as I mentioned, our agents do make up the largest enrollment firm across the U.S., but one thing that a lot of folks are not aware of is that we can enroll not only your Colonial Life offering, but also any core benefits that are being provided. This is always a fun statistic I like to pull out, usually when I'm doing training classes with folks. But last year alone, Colonial did about north of $560 million in sales. With that, we actually enrolled about $5 billion in other benefits or in other core benefits for other carriers. And as you can see the metric there, essentially for every dollar in Colonial we sold $10 for another carrier. The reason we do that is because our goal, again, is just to educate the employees onto the benefits that are being made available to them through the work site. And we feel that this partnership in working both with the core benefit offering and doing that for our clients has really enabled us to find success in the market. Along with that, if there's no system, Colonial does offer a proprietary system. It's known as Harmony, where we can enroll your client's core and voluntary benefits offerings. We're able to see new hires year-round, and we're also able to take advantage of some of the pre-enrollment communication strategies that are really going to help drive better participation during that enrollment event. One in particular that has become extremely popular over the last several months, if not going back a year or so, is actually the utilization of what we call a digital postcard. And what this is going to be is a pre-enrollment communication where we're able to send to either the company email blast. We're able to send information to them. It can be enrollment information such as the products that are being made available, that we can embed videos either from the agent, from the broker, messages from the DM. But really what this is meant to do is just to get information in front of those individuals prior to that enrollment experience. Along with the digital postcard, we do have the ability to embed what's known as an online scheduler so that each employee has the ability to sign up for a one-to-one benefits counseling session, which is going to help reduce just that scheduling burden that might fall on HR or on the individual managers within particular departments. When using these tools, especially the digital postcard and the online scheduler, we see participation in the enrollment events that we're having jump to about 80%. So it is a very, very good tool to have in place. And again, if that's not something that's available to a particular account, know that we do have several different pre-enrollment strategies that we would be able to roll out. And then lastly, in addition to Harmony, we do have connections with over 50 enrollment and Ben admin technologies. So if you have a system, we are usually able to find a way to work with them and to integrate Colonial Life's offering into that system. All right, so prior to jumping into products, I did want to take a couple of minutes and just go through really some additional value-added programs and services that we can make available to your client. As you guys are probably pretty aware, Colonial does not have a national marketing campaign where we're on commercials or anything from that standpoint. And really what we're able to do is we're able to go out and invest in these programs that are going to provide additional benefits to our clients. So I'm just going to go through each one of them. If you end up with questions on how the programs work or just need some additional information, we can certainly get that over to you. But like I said, just wanted to highlight over the next couple of slides here the programs that are available. The first one is just going to be access to the well card. This is a tremendous tool for us because it's going to give access to employees to prescription discounts as well as dental, vision, and then really any type of wellness products. I've actually had experience closing accounts before because there are sometimes discounts to movie tickets, hotels. So it's just a really robust offering that can be made available to the employees. From there, we do have a relationship or an agreement in place with Ameriflex where we're able to offer Section 125 cafeteria plan administration at no cost to the business. So that is something that we are able to provide to them as well. The next one we have is going to be coffee. What this is going to be is just financial education, financial literacy for the employees that work at a particular client. And really this just allows them to go in and ask questions just regarding their current financial situation, just things that, you know, whether student loan repayment, mortgage, just any questions they may have. They're just kind of seeking general knowledge from someone who has experience. They're able to use this online resource. And it's just going to provide them answer to questions that may come up. From there, we have a system that we have access to known as HR Answers Now. This actually is about a $1,400 subscription fee per year. And really where we see this partner very well is, you know, business owners that wear multiple hats for the business and just don't necessarily have either the time or the subject matter expertise to know all of the HR functions that they're really responsible for. And so what this does is gives them access to articles, information, as well as different support features to where they can ask questions to figure out how it is that they need to handle any HR-related event that occurs at their business. The next one we have is going to be actually a benefits education website. It's known as UVille. This is going to be for any employers that have 50 or more employees. But Colonial Life can actually build a customized website that is going to lay out all of the offerings that are being made available during that enrollment experience. So that is something that we can customize and create for your clients. Again, that's going to be if they have 50 or more employees. And then the last service or the last value-added service that we have that's available is going to be known as LawSure. And where this really partners very well, or what this is first and foremost, it's legal doc preparation. So employees would have access to power of attorney, wills. Generally, those cost anywhere from $400 to about $700, depending upon where you live or who you may know that works in the legal field. And so what we've seen is that pairs very well anytime there is a life insurance offering, because not only are we planning for end of life with regards to financially taking care of your dependents, but then also how are your other assets aligned? Where are those going to fall? And so we just feel that partners very well together. And again, there's these programs are complementary to all accounts, no matter new or existing. The only requirement would be that they have to offer at least 2 Colonial Life employee paid products. I had to take a swig of water there. All right. So the next offering that we have, these are going to be known as our POPS programs. What these are going to mean is, of the 5 programs listed here, you're able to select one of these for your account for the first year. These are going to be available only to new accounts. And we are going to set the expectation that we need to see at least 75% of the employees. There is no requirement from the employees to purchase any Colonial Life product in order to be eligible or in order to receive access to the program, but they must come and sit down with one of our benefits counselors in order to be eligible. These programs, as they're laid out here, the first one is a $10,000 AD&D offer through Chubb. So for each one of your employees that comes and sits down with one of our benefits counselors, they would receive $10,000 in coverage. Very popular offering, especially in the blue collar space, and those individuals that do work in those professions where they may be a little bit more at risk of being injured while on the job. So definitely a good option there. The next one that we have is going to be Identity Guard. This is just kind of standard identity theft protection as you would customly think about it. It's going to be a $1 million restoration policy, active credit monitoring, both on the dark web, and then they actually will dedicate a staff member that if your credit was stolen or compromised, they are going to help you recover that. So again, just an additional resource that we're able to put in place when partnering with clients. The next one that we have there is going to be telemedicine. For those of you that are not familiar with telemedicine, it is for us, it's the most popular value add program that we're able to put in place. But what this does is it allows employees to actually call in to a board certified either physician or pediatrician, and within generally about 5 to 8 minutes, they get access to a doctor. So no longer are they having to go sit in long lines at minute clinics, having to go pick up a child from school, then sitting in line, or having to stay at home because a child's sick. They're able to interact with they're able to interact with the doctor, provide them with an overview of the symptoms, issues that they're having, and then from there, they're able to get a prescription for whatever that sickness is. So it is a very, very strong tool when talking with business owners and just our ability to get their people back to work. The next one we have is going to be future fuel. A very, very popular term thrown around these days is going to be student loans. For those of you who didn't know, the current indebtedness from a student loan standpoint is around $1.7 trillion. It's the second largest indebtedness owned by the American population outside of mortgages. And so how we like to position this is just going to be that in partnership with employers, here's a way for you to differentiate yourself in the employer environment when you're looking to attract or retain your employee base. And what the Future Fuel allows to do are a couple of different features. One is going to be a roundup feature in that the individual can set an amount that they would like to have contributed to their student loan on a monthly basis. And then with every purchase that they make, say it is $25.50. What the system's going to do is round up to the next whole dollar. It's then going to hold that money. And then on a monthly basis, they're going to deposit that amount against the principal balance of the loan. There are also additional features where the employer can make contributions to the student loan of the employee, as well as we're able to provide refinance options and then a roll-up dashboard where they're able to see all student loans if they were taken out with different carriers. So again, just a very robust tool, again, that you're able to put in front of business owners as an option for how we can help them attract and retain their employee base. And then the last one we have there is going to be known as Learning Gives Back. What this is going to be is that Colonial Life is actually going to make a $5 donation on behalf of each employee that sits down for the one-to-one enrollment experience. All right. And if you guys, like we said before, if you have any questions kind of along the way, feel free to load those up in the chat, and we're going to definitely address those as we move forward. So a couple of other things that I wanted to highlight prior to jumping into the meat and potatoes of the presentation are just really highlight two business segments where Colonial Life has experience and really a track record for success. The first one is going to be the public sector space. A lot of times VB benefits folks tend to get very focused on just the commercial side of the house, whereas I do want to make light or point out our extreme experience when it comes to the public sector space. We currently partner with about 41 different state governments, as well as over 8,000 different local governments and educational entities. And this can be anywhere from 10,000 life fire department in a large city, all the way down to a 3 or 4 person water authority in Lancaster, South Carolina. So there's a very wide spread with regards to how we're able to support the public sector space. And really from there, we provide thought leadership, best practices, just surrounding HR, cost saving strategies, and really one of the biggest pain points and focus areas is just how can those in the public sector space, how can they attract and retain their employee base? And that's going to be really where we're able to bring a lot of value when partnering with those public sector entities. And then a fun fact I always like to put out there is we are actually still in partnership with one of our first public sector accounts from the 1950s, which was a highway patrol with one of our state agencies. So again, just a very long track record of success in working with that public sector space. And then the last one, or the second one, I guess, is just going to be that our large case experience. Just a couple of facts here that are on the screen. Colonial actually has around 13% market share when it comes to large case. So a lot of times, again, folks get very focused on the commercial kind of direct side, under 100 employees when it comes to Colonial Life. And we do have an extensive experience there. But as we go up market, there's a lot of value that Colonial Life is able to provide even to larger accounts. So again, there's no opportunity that can't be brought to the table where Colonial Life could not partner with you to bring value to your clients. All right. So now we're going to get into the product portfolio, really just an overview of the products that are available through Colonial Life. I'm going to highlight just a few kind of bullet points for each one. We're not looking to take a real deep dive. My goal is just to kind of reintroduce you guys if you aren't familiar with VB. If you are, just to share with you maybe some key differentiators from the Colonial Life side and the products we're able to put in place. One thing to note is all of these plans are going to be individually owned, which means the employee owns that product. All products are portable, so that if the employee leaves their current job, they are able to take that product with them and then guaranteed renewable. So the first product we're going to take a look at is our short-term disability. What this product is going to allow the employees to do is just replace a portion of their income if they have to miss work due to sickness or injury. There is a 3, 6, 12, and 24-month benefit period option, and there are also guaranteed options up to $4,000 per month. Along with that, there is on and off job coverage or off job only coverage, and this is going to include partial disability, portability, and the waiver of premium. There's also an optional feature which includes psychiatric and psychological condition benefits and a waiver of an elimination period for the first day of hospital confinement. Really how I love to position this product, again, just if you're going out into market, is that there's a current stat out there that about 48% of Americans do not have more than $500 in savings. So with that being known, how would your employees make ends meet if they had to miss work for an extended period of time due to sickness or injury? That's going to be a great opportunity for us to have a conversation regarding short-term disability and the value that it's going to provide not only to the employee, but to the employer. The next product portfolio we have here is going to be our life products. We've got whole life here, and then the next one is going to be term life. What this is going to do is help with final expenses, including funeral costs, mortgage payments, car loans, credit card bills. And really what whole life does, it's going to provide guaranteed level premiums and a guaranteed cash benefit. This can be paid up at either age 70 or age 100. And it does provide a guaranteed purchase option. Along with we have our term life product. Term life is going to offer different term limits, either a 10, 15, 20, or 30 year. It's going to provide level death benefits, family coverage, and is guaranteed rates, and has guaranteed rates. Really what the term product allows individuals to do is they can get a higher face amount at generally a much lower cost, especially when compared to whole life. So it's a very, very strong product, especially for those that have a mortgage and are looking to offset that expense if something was to happen to one of the breadwinners of the family. So again, just a very robust product that we're able to put in the marketplace. The next product that we have, and probably my favorite one, is going to be our dental plan. This actually rolled out for Colonial Life in March of 2018 and is quickly becoming one of the most popular products that we have in the market today. Really, there are two very big selling features that we have when it comes to our dental products. The first is going to be it's rate stable. And what that means is you're never going to have a renewal conversation with your groups ever again. You're not going to have to go back every year, every other year, as you would with a traditional group plan and have to express to them that there's a 10, 12, 15% rate increase. So rate stable is a very powerful thing when it comes to our dental product. And then additionally from there, there's not a participation requirement, which means we can enroll down to one life for our dental plan. A couple of features of our dental product, there are 5 plan options. Plan 1 through 4 is known as a MAC plan, and then plan 5 is a passive PPO. The policy max is going to range from anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 dependent upon the plan selected. Additionally, from there, the riders that are available are vision, ortho, and there is a rollover benefit that can be added on, as well as we do have the ability to take over existing coverage of other dental carriers, and we can waive the waiting periods associated with those. Again, this is a very strong product that we've seen a lot of success with in the marketplace, especially knowing that dental is the second most requested product at the worksite behind medical. So just something we've seen a tremendous amount of traction, and it's just a very robust product that was introduced into the market. From there, we have our individual accident coverage. What this is going to do, it's going to pay a fixed benefit that's really just going to help offset unexpected medical expenses that can result from a fracture, dislocation, needing stitches, any type of accident that's going to be covered. There are several coverage levels that are going to be available that fit different budgets depending on the individuals we're working with. It's guaranteed issue, it's a composite rated, and then it's also guaranteed renewable. There's family coverage available or spouse, and then eligible dependent children only coverage. There also a very good feature on the Colonial side is there is a spouse disability rider, which can be made available at an additional cost. And this plan is HSA compliant. With our accident plan, I did want to take a moment just to highlight one of the unique riders that we have that's available. It's known as the Gunshot Wound rider. What this is a guaranteed issue product. It's going to provide a lump sum benefits for injuries due to a non-fatal gunshot wound. This is very popular amongst the law enforcement individuals and clients that we're able to serve. And then just another fun fact that I like to throw out from time to time. As of 2017, there were over 37 million licenses, tags, and permits with regards to hunting. What that means for us, there are a lot of folks using firearms on a routine basis. And what this means is there's always the possibility of an accidental discharge. And so this policy is going to provide that protection for folks that do use firearms on a regular basis. Next, we have our critical illness policy. What this is going to do, it's going to provide lump sum benefits for the diagnosis of a critical illness, such as a heart attack or a stroke. There are 5 plans. Each can be made available with or without the cancer coverage, and the face amounts can range anywhere from $5,000 up to $100,000. There are both HSA and non-HSA compliant plans, and there is a subsequent diagnosis benefit available, which is going to pay is going to pay up to 300% of the face amount. From there, we have our Cancer Assist plan. What this is going to do, it's an indemnity-based benefit that's going to help cover medical and non-medical related expenses during a cancer diagnosis and treatment. There are 4 plan levels, all containing at least 30 benefits, and there's also an embedded health screening benefit available at all levels. What this is hopefully going to allow us to do is just any type of that screening is going to allow us to diagnose anything initially so that we can hopefully take preventative action if there is the site of cancer. Additionally, on the cancer side, there is always a grave concern, and what I mean by that is, statistically speaking, 1 in 2 men are going to be diagnosed with cancer over their lifetime, as well as 1 in 3. And so for us, just helping employees understand the likelihood of those events happening to them or their families, and really just helping them to prepare for if those things were to happen. The last product we have is going to be known as our individual medical bridge product. What this is, it's a hospital confinement indemnity product that's really going to help supplement the core medical coverage. It's going to help the employee with the increasing cost of deductibles, copays, and really any other expenses that are not covered by today's health insurance plans. As you guys are more than likely familiar with, premiums continue to go up year over year on the health insurance side. And for the employer, the only way to keep those premiums relatively stable on their end is going to be shifting some of that financial burden to their employees. How are they doing that? With high deductibles. And so what this medical bridge plan does is it just helps the employees fill that gap and really to soften that financial burden that might be placed on the employee if all of a sudden they had to meet a $5,000, $6,000 deductible. A few highlights of the plan are going to be that it offers benefits such as hospital confinement, health screening or wellness benefits, rehabilitation confinement, outpatient surgery, diagnostic procedures, and doctor's office visits. The plan is HSA compliant. It is going to be available. And then finally, spouse and dependent coverage is available also. All right. So I know that was a tremendous amount of information in a very, very short time frame. But again, our main goal is to provide products and programs that are really just going to help you and your clients improve the recruitment and retention of their employees, and also save them time and save them money. Because we know at the end of the day, the more value we can bring to a client, the more successful that relationship is going to be. So with that being said, VB for us is really just the beginning of what we're able to do. And so now I'll open up the floor to see, how can we support you and your clients, and does anyone have any questions for us?
Nick, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to go through that. Just before we get to the questions, just a few comments that I wanted to make that struck me as you were going through your presentation. Number one was the MD Live that you touched on as far as a complimentary or a benefit that is available through you. And
Yeah.
you also you touched on the fact that deductibles are so high right now. And
Mm-hmm.
that is a fantastic alternative. Obviously, if it's a non-life-threatening situation or health event, it's something that I actually have used in the past, and it will allow you to speak directly to a medical professional and not have to worry about what the deductible is going to be just to have that interaction. So I just wanted to speak to that. I think it's fantastic that that's something that you do offer.
Yeah, it is and one thing about that too as well, Brian, it's not just available for the employee, it's available for their family members as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
so it is a tool, like I said, not only they can take advantage of, but if they've got small children, spouse that's sick, they're able to take advantage of that program also.
Sure, sure. And then also you touched on the future fuel. And one of the things that affects so many people's credit now is actually student loan issues. So I think that it's fantastic that's something that's also available. So I can really appreciate those benefits that you spoke on with that.
Excellent.
Okay, so first question here is, and especially because we're talking to so many agents, insurance agents. So we have agencies that are, the agents are 1099. And the question is Colonial Life available to 1099 individuals and businesses?
We can, I guess it would depend on the circumstance. So just to the
Sure.
actual individual, or to to give you an example, most real estate offices are 1099. So
Hmm.
I guess I would need context around who it is we're making that available to potentially.
Sure, sure. Okay. Um, and then the next question, it looks like, has to do with portability.
Hmm.
So if an employee leaves a group, are there any benefits that they will definitely lose or that are not portable? And will their costs change for the benefits that they keep?
No, all of these products are individual products, so no benefits would change when if they were to leave their company, and there would be no cost change as well.
Okay, excellent. And the next question, it looks like, has to do with it looks like a few of the slides. It was shown that some of the products, they are simplified issue, but
Hmm.
they are post enrollment guaranteed issue. Can you kind of explain that?
As to why that, I
Right.
guess.
So it looks like they have to qualify for the product because it says that it is simplified issue. And is that correct for some
Yeah,
products? Okay.
yeah, and so we've got a lot of flexibility around underwriting concessions that can be made.
Hmm.
As far as the post-enrollment guarantee is basically as long as participation rates are met, then that product is going to, on the critical illness, to give you an example, as long as participation is met, then that product is going to be made guaranteed issue to everyone that signed up for it. So if really, I would just say kind of as a blanket statement, if we're needing to put together an underwriting option that's going to be favorable, we can certainly do that. But that's going to be kind of the difference between the post-enrollment guaranteed issue and what that means.
Okay. Okay. And one other question, I think we kind of already touched on this. Is there a copay to use the MD Live?
There is not. There is no copay associated with that.
Okay.
And the main thing with all of those programs is just they are a complimentary benefit being made available to the employees or to that account.
Okay. Okay. And the next question, do you offer a rate chart, or does the agent have to send in a census?
We can actually quote those plans since they're individual plans. Everything is shelf rated, so we would be able to provide you a quote through. We have actually a quoting tool, and that would be done through Ramey Festerman. But we do have the ability to provide those quotes. But no, we would not need a census for any of the individual products. So everything is either a composite rate or there are age bands that are going to have a set rate for them.
So Nick, the next question, can you review which plans are available individually, not via employer? Is that something that is available?
Yeah, the two plans that we have that would be available, basically individual, or kind of how it's known, just kitchen table sales, are our life are going to be either our life products or the accident product. So it is going to be a much more limited offering that would be made available on that kind of the individual sales side as opposed to through your employer. So that's the accident and then the life products.
Okay, excellent. One moment here. Let me do a few more questions. I think you just answered this. Do you have any individual plans that can be purchased outside the employer? You just spoke to that.
Yes.
How do we find Colonial agents in our area that we can work with?
That is a fantastic question. Probably the easiest thing to do would just be reaching out to me, and we'll send a follow-up email with my contact information. But then I would be able just to direct you to that territory office. I do know if you go online, there are some search features to where you can put in your zip code and it's going to pull back the closest office to you. But just to prevent some of that legwork, if you wanted to send me an email with your contact information and where you're located, and then I'd be happy to forward that along to our closest territory location. We generally have a territory office in each state. But those states that do have larger metropolitan areas, such as you think about Florida, between Miami, Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville, we do have territory offices that are going to be kind of segmented out by those metropolitan areas.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And next question here. If we get a new account, who enrolls the employees?
That's really going to be something that Colonial would be able to handle. If you wanted to enroll it, that is always an option that's available. But we could have those conversations to kind of figure out what the logistics of that look like. Whether it's going to be dependent upon where you're located, we could have a local enrollment team go out and facilitate, or we do have an app, as all the tech folks like to say now, that we have an app for that that is honestly very similar to Uber. And what I mean by that is once the account is closed, what you would do is actually upload the enrollment opportunity to this application. It's called Dispatch, powered by Winolo. And what benefits counselors are able to do is actually go out and claim that enrollment. That way you would know who's going to staff it, who the individuals are that are going to be there. And so it's a really streamlined process if you happen to not be located around particular team that would be able to facilitate that enrollment. But again, that is something that we could figure out the logistics in working with Ramey Festerman and his team as well.
Excellent. And one last question here. As far as additional training, so once an agent enrolls with Colonial Life, I know that you spoke to Harmony. Is that your training system?
So Harmony is actually the enrollment system.
The enrollment.
If they are to come on with us as a broker or an agent, they would actually gain access to what's known as My Learning Connections, or MLC, and that is going to be basically our training portal where they would gain access to any type of product training, as well as just training regarding any additional tools or features that are available to them as a Colonial Life representative. So there's a lot of training out there at their disposal, kind of on an individual basis. But first, they would have to become contracted with Colonial Life.
Absolutely. And the last question here, does your disability insurance cover a one-person business such as plumbers?
As long as they have 3 eligible employees. So one person could sign up, but they would have, in order to be eligible for Colonial Life coverage to count as a quote unquote group, they would have to have 3 eligible employees.
Okay, thank you for that. So Nick, I appreciate you this morning going over this information. I know it's something that a lot of our agents are definitely interested in. They wanted to learn a lot more about as far as voluntary benefits. So I want to thank you once again for taking the time out of your day. I want to thank all of the agents that have attended this webinar for taking time out of your busy day. Hopefully you did learn something new that you'll be able to implement in your business. If you are not appointed with Colonial Life, it only takes a few minutes to go into your SureLC online contracting portal and request the appointment. If you are not exactly sure how to go about that, feel free to contact our producer support department at 866-568-9649, extension 7813, or email them at producersupport@messerfinancial.com, and they'll be happy to assist you in any way that they can. Also take a minute to check out our events calendar at www.messerfinancial.com. And we will be having webinar workshops scheduled throughout the year with valuable information just like this. And thank you so much for joining us. Nick, thank you again. And all of you have a great day and a better week.
Thank you.